Welcome to the Bayou City Soccer Podcast. Whether inside or outside the loop, we are talking everything soccer in Houston. Y'all ready? Let's get it. Houston, welcome to another episode of the Bayou City Soccer Podcast. My name is Rudy Segura, and tonight I'm joined by Cristian Putalias. What's up, bro? How you doing?
How's it going? How's it going, everybody? I'm doing great. How you doing, Rudy?
Man, I hope you're back with power from your vacation, quote unquote, work trip, man. So lots of soccer to talk about, man. So we'll try to keep this short. So we'll go right to it. First of all, just a word from our sponsor. Definitely go check out Senate Avenue over there in 290 and Bellwood 8, serving the Jersey Village area and the communities around it. Andrew and his team are for sure going to take care of you. Great beer, great food, amazing atmosphere. So, man, go check them out. Senate Ave. Look for them. And, yeah, give them a try, man. Christian, man, we had all the teams playing this weekend. We saw Dynamo 2. I guess I'll start with them. They just finished a couple hours ago. Ended up getting destroyed by a really crappy LA Galaxy in the table, but came to Houston. 105 degrees didn't bother, LA at all after having a hurricane back home and smacked Houston 4-0, man. Again, really ugly. The only good sign or good thing was to see Teenage Davey get some minutes. He played the first half. But yeah, overall, I think it was a pretty weak game for Kenny Bundy and his team, and we won't really touch much about it because you're gonna help us out with the Tuesday. So we'll get the people some of that there, and then their match though would be Sunday, September 3rd. They'll be playing also at home against St. Louis that game, and touching a little bit of Houston Dash. Houston Dash received KC Current on Saturday night. The match ended 1-1 with Michelle Eloisi scoring that goal to tie it up, give the Dash another point. Man, Christian, I know we've talked about this. They're 10th in the table with 20 points, even though it's 4 points away from a playoff spot. It looks pretty ugly, especially when they have like 3 straight road games coming up, man. So that's the Dash. Again, they'll be playing against San Diego Wave Sunday as well at 7:00 Central Time, dude. But Christian, this is where we talk about the team that we like, we hate. Sometimes they make us a little crazy, man. They get that Argentinian blood flowing sometimes for you, man, for sure. I know that it's the case, man. But Houston Dynamo, man, they've been playing pretty well. 11 goals. 1 conceded, or 11 goals scored, 1 conceded in 3 matches. Back-to-back wins against Real Salt Lake, 3-1 on Wednesday for the U.S. Open Cup that pushed it to the final, and then 3-0 yesterday, man. Let's just start with your thoughts on this match, and a lot of substitution, man.
Yeah, basically I guess, quote unquote, second team for the Dynamo in this matchup, but I think it was really good and it was really needed, right? Thinking about all the games ahead, the month of September is going to be a really condensed one when you have like games weekend weekdays type thing. And not only that, but you have a whole final, to kind of go to Miami, probably the hottest team at like right now at the moment, right? Well, because of a certain guy named Messi, right? But no, I think it was
that
cool.
Guy?
Yeah, who the heck is that guy? Literally transformed the whole league. And it's crazy because you think people talk about like players transforming the league or doing that, but the guy is actually scoring, so he's doing his job, I guess, right? Which makes the final a little bit more interesting, especially for the team that we have, because honestly, I was watching this game against Salt Lake, the latest one on the weekend, and even though we went in with a bunch of quote unquote subs, with Steres, Barlow, Mikel, Smith on the back line, guys that don't start on a day-to-day.
Daniel Steres was back in the lineup and right back, and then you also had Polish Sebas
Yeah, Polish
Kowalczyk
Sevas making
getting a
his
start.
start.
Yep.
And he was pretty good. I mean, honestly, he wasn't, maybe too dangerous or too I don't know. He maybe didn't create a lot of goal opportunities and stuff like that, but I think he looked, somewhat comfortable for being such a brand new guy to this team. And you kind of had some glimpses of the quality of player that he is. There was a little flick that you and I kind of pointed out in a little group chat, and there was like those little things that 1-2 touches that you're like, dang, like this guy, with a little bit more rhythm, with a little bit of more relationship with the guys on the field, maybe with Coco, maybe with Hector, uh, maybe having a really good, strong number 9, maybe in the future, like you can probably see a really good team shape up in what is the final third of the field for us. And I mean, Baird was on
Yeah,
on the league.
you mentioned Coco. I just wanted
Yeah.
to, do you think this is his last game, man, that we saw Coco?
I think kind of like what you said earlier in the day in our group chat. I hope so, but at the same time, I know it's gonna suck, right? I really hope he moves on to bigger and better things. But I mean, honestly, I would hate to see him leave. Right now, he's probably one of our best players. When you look at the RSL game, during the week for the U.S. Open Cup, he was extremely vital. I mean, the way that he was moving the ball, the way that he was moving himself from starting on the outside position, coming in, moving the ball around, just taking shots on frame and stuff like that. And the way that he also came into this game as a sub, and he was basically doing the same thing, just kind of distributing the ball, moving the ball around. I mean, the Dynamo, for being, playing away this latest RSL game, they looked very comfortable with the ball on their feet, right? Like there was a lot of touches, a lot of movement, and you're like, damn, like this is our second team, and like we're moving the ball around this much and this well. Like the error would come when like specific players would kind of touch the ball, and not to put him out there, but like Ivan Franco, he's still kind of not convincing me personally.
And I think this was his probably best game,
Yeah,
without scoring and having
yeah,
well, yeah, without really scoring, I guess.
yeah,
He played a good game.
decent
Just to
game,
add, and you can
decent.
build on this, you talk about the B team, but how long has it been since we actually, the depth comes in and we see a difference? We see them make an
Yeah,
impact. Obviously, last game in the US Open Cup, we saw Brad Smith come in, late in the game, score a goal. This time you saw, Stairs, who again played as the right back for quite a long time before Dorsey kind of took the spot over and scores a goal. I mean, it's really crazy that you're able to score the way that you are, especially when the main guy being Ali Ibrahim, out of the 11 goals, he hasn't seen one. So,
yeah.
pretty incredible stuff, man.
And no, yeah, depth piece is like a giant thing because if you look back at the last few years, what was one of the things that we always talked about was depth, right? This team lacked depth, when we get to the summer, and after the summer window, that's when you would see the Dynamo just kind of dwindle down. We would start very strong, accumulate a good amount of points, especially at home. Obviously, away, it was always difficult for us. But it feels like now this, like we're kind of going into the right direction when it comes to debt. I mean, one of the things I was thinking about today when we were talking about recording was about Caicedo. When you think about, you have Herrera, Coco, and Arthur, like those are your for sure starters, right? But then you think about Caicedo, in the midfield, and you're like, well, this guy could start as well. I mean, he's a pretty, he's a dog in there, and he holds his weight. So I was like, that's a really good depth piece to have in the midfield,
Yeah,
and and it.
and he had
Go
a
ahead.
ton of questions coming in. We
Yeah,
saw Caicedo. We were like, okay, it's good depth. He wasn't great when he played in New England, and we knew that he was coming from like a really serious knee injury.
yeah,
And he just displaced Brooklyn Reigns altogether, man. So
yeah.
that tells you a lot of kind of where, this players that they're bringing in, and they're actually, are working in the system of, Ben Olsen.
Yeah. And also kind of a good, testament to the whole scouting department and analytics departments, the whole thing that they're kind of putting together, that right now they're just not going and just buying a random dude because of a random game that they saw that he was good, or agents and stuff like that, but actually looking at actual numbers and if they can actually fit this team. And Caicedo, honestly, he fits perfectly, in my opinion. It was also good to see Mikel and Barlow back. Mikel, after that disaster against Charlotte, a lot of people came down on him and talked a bunch of crap about him, and they said many things. But I mean, he was pretty solid, and he kind of showed out. And Barlow the same thing. Even though those are our two young guys, those are pretty good backups to what could be having I always call him Shevchenko, but
Vyachenko.
and who's our other starter?
Davey.
I'm blanking
Yeah.
out. Yeah,
And it's funny because Barlow was probably the worst player Saturday. Obviously, you still get a win 3-0.
Yeah.
But I think Mikel, just to mention a little bit, I think this dude has been solid since he got here, since we saw him at Dos. I mean, dude has been a rock, and it's great to see a young player like him develop. Even obviously the issues that happen, mistakes happen, man. We've seen the Harry Maguires, we've seen people do really bad stuff, and I hope he's not a Harry Maguire by any means. But things are gonna happen. They're part of soccer. Errors like that happen. But it's good to see him continue to get minutes and still play at a very high level, and hopefully he can get his full confidence back.
For sure. No, but I mean, I think overall pretty solid. I mean, there's nothing you can say about that team. They play really well, move the ball really well. I think attacked in the right places, move the ball around in the right places. Baird was always putting the pressure up.
Who?
Your boy, the goat. Bear the goat.
I think we need to take a time there, man. Yeah. And I'm not gonna say you're a Corey Bear hater.
Last year, I was very critical of Bear.
You're very critical of him. You weren't the only one. I mean, tweets are out there. Mean tweets are out there. We need to bring that segment back.
Right?
So mean tweets. If you like mean tweets, let us know. We'll get that going again.
Send it to us.
Yeah. Corey Baird, man, he was fantastic. Obviously, we know it's not about scoring goals. Granted, he's been scoring goals. It's great. I love the fact that he wasn't scared to celebrate that. You can tell the guy really wants it. This is an old club for him. He started his career in RSL. I thought maybe, after I saw him score, I'm like, that's easy, man. He's going to, he did the whole little craft celebration. He jumped at, he screamed it. It's great to see, the passion that he has. So of course, I think players like him that, for a long time had like a scoring drought are finally getting, in the stat box. So hopefully Aliu's next, but overall, man, it's been good to see Corey Baird get some minutes and get opportunities scoring.
Yeah, I mean, Aliu had an assist, so he did he had a good game himself. And it was also interesting because Aliu started on the wing, and then you had Bear as a number 9, which is another interesting move, right? But I think it's good that Ben Olsen is kind of trying. I mean, I don't know if it's the right time to start trying stuff when you're fighting for a spot in the playoffs, but at the end of the day, it worked out, right? So if it worked out, then something was good. Yeah. But I think the planning was on point. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess just to finish off too, the fact that I don't know, man, this is 2 games straight. U.S. Open Cup in here. Coco without Ache plays better. I've been saying the fact that Coco and Hector Herrera play very, like, they're similar roles. They have to be given that same, and it's difficult to have both of them together. Granted, it has worked. Obviously, like we saw it against Portland, they're still able to work. But whenever the U.S. Open Cup, Ache had to come out. You saw Coco take the spot, take the realm, score a goal. And you saw it here too, right? Ache only played half, just played one half. And then once Coco came in, he scored a goal too. So it's really nice to see. Bittersweet if it is Coco's last time, here. And best of luck to him if it happens, because the I think the transfer window closes on Thursday. It's the 31st, whatever that is. I'm assuming it's Thursday.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways. So yeah, this may be his last game. We don't know. If it doesn't happen, then obviously he's probably here till January, which is my opinion or kind of my feeling about it. But the guy keeps scoring goals. He was the MVP of the Gold Cup. I mean, someone's gonna come knocking.
Yeah, for sure.
That's for sure,
And
man.
you know what's crazy? Like, kind of closing it down. Well, I think we have to mention Achache. We already know he's probably your best player, and having Achache literally changes the whole team. So shout out to Hector Herrera for literally kind of taking the team on his
I
back,
thought
right?
I thought his name was Hector Roman Riquelme
Yeah,
or
Hector,
Herrera,
yeah,
whatever you called
Hector
him.
Roman Herrera. Yeah, I
There you
mean,
go.
he honestly he's been playing like I think there was one mistake he did when it was like a foul, and he tried to give the ball to Stairs, and he just kind of kicked it out. But other than that,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
right, it was just
remember that. They
random.
were like early in the game. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
pretty funny.
but I mean, other than that, the dude like he's on point,
Yeah,
99% of the time. So shout out to that.
yeah,
But when you look at the table, I mean, when you look at the table, we're in fifth place, and we are only, well, I mean, we're 9 away from first place, 5 away from second place, and third and fourth only have 2 points ahead of us. So I
yep.
mean, we're literally, potentially fighting. I don't want to say that we're gonna
Hey,
get
there
first place,
some
right? But I
crazy
mean,
guy said that would end in fourth place, man. And I don't know, this crazy guy,
yeah,
who
that
will
guy
be
believes
named
too
Rudy
much.
Segura, really believe that a new coach like Ben Olsen
Yeah,
just kind of like that Pat Noonan thing, with FC Cincinnati. I just felt that if you get things right, you could see a jump, from year one. And it's crazy that we're here talking, them in the final with US Open Cup. They already have a spot for the call it what it is, Champions League of CONCACAF,
yeah,
basically. Um, so it's great to see this thing, because to me, having those tournaments as well obviously adds on more pressure for Pat Onstad and Asher Mendelsohn to get people in the next transfers, to help Ben Olsen do the right thing. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we want to see them make the playoffs, win championships, and that's all we can root for. But Christian, before we even talk, final, we still have about a month to go. But
yeah.
Columbus Crew, man, Columbus Crew is coming to town Wednesday night, here in Shell Energy Stadium. So, of course, school night. I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit of an empty game. Hopefully not. Hopefully there's some
Yeah.
people. And honestly, we'll have tickets for that game. We'll have, I think, a pair or maybe 2 pairs of tickets. So check
Let's
out our
go.
social medias for that. We, give some likes, retweets, follows, and you'll get an opportunity to make it out to the game via Bayou City Soccer, man. But yeah, just quick, your thoughts on the game against Columbus, and fifth on the West playing the fifth on the East. What are you thinking that match is gonna look like for the Houston Dynamo, man?
It's gonna be insane because I mean Columbus Crew has a really nice crew. They have a really nice team, especially right. I'm a comedian, guys. But I mean, when you look at Christian Ramirez, he came back from Europe and he's been having a really good start there. They had that other Hispanic guy. I can't remember his name now.
Cucho, Cucho
Yeah,
Hernandez,
Cucho Hernandez, another guy that also came from Europe. And
yeah,
now, not only that, but they got
and they
a
got
really
Diego Rossi, who came from Europe
exactly.
to
So I
take over
mean,
your boy, your Armenian Argentinian
my
Celerayan,
Armenian
who ended up
national.
leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I mean, those three by themselves, like that's already a good, good trio. You got a box number 9, then you have Cucho that could kind of play everywhere in a way, and he finds the box and he finds the goal, and then Rossi, who's a provider, right? He's like almost like a true number 10 in a way. And I mean, and then you can start naming, other guys that they may have, like, Nagby, Gresso, like they have a really good squad. So it's gonna be a tough one. Maybe we can get them with the Heat, maybe we can get them with the way that we're playing so well now that just kind of keep the momentum going. Um, I'm not sure of what their form is right now for Columbus Crew. Let me see. They also have won basically the last 5 games. Out of the
yep,
5 games, they won
yep.
4 and they
5
tied
games. Yep.
1.
Yep.
So they're coming in pretty strong as well. 3-0 against Cincinnati, a 2-0 against Toronto. Given Toronto's not that great either, but I mean Cincinnati is top of the East, so that's a tough team right there.
Yep.
So they're not beating just chumps out there, So they're going places. They're winning. They're winning
Yeah,
at
this
home.
is going to be a good test, man.
Yeah,
You're trying to get your team into the playoffs. The only way to do it is to beat the best teams out there. So you start now, trying to match up against a really good team.
a really
And
good coach.
honestly, RSL was in the same point, man. RSL hadn't lost
Yeah,
since like May. So
yeah,
for
9
Houston to
games
beat
without
them
losing.
back-to-back games, pretty
Yeah.
incredible stuff, man. So I guess just finish it off. What are your predictions for this match, man?
Damn, that's a tough one, to be honest. Tough one. I would say I'm gonna go with a tie just because they're both pretty even teams. So I want to just play it safe and go tie.
Yeah,
Maybe go
I'm with you.
2-2.
I want to say win because that would be the way to go. But Columbus has been playing pretty well, so I'm with you. I'm gonna say draw, but hope for a win. That's for sure. All
Makes
right,
sense.
Christian, man, tell the people how they can connect with us, bro.
Yeah, for sure. So you can you can find Rudy at Rudy Segura 01. You can find Rodrigo at, no, is it? No, Rudy Segura at 3, sorry. And then you can find Rodrigo at Rodrigo Segura 01. We missed him this week. You can find me at Chris Putalias, also on, Twitter, Instagram, or whatever it may be. And you can find us at Bayou City Soccer on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We are also on YouTube. Go help us out. Get to 300 out there. We're pretty close.
We're
Help us out.
close.
We
We're
we
close,
have a
man.
bunch of other stuff. We got some more content coming out soon. Um, and yeah, you can just go to the website, BayouCitySoccer.net. You can find all the articles. We have Joey doing rankings. I do Tuesdays. We have breakfast links 3 times a week. And then just, if you want to get to know your enemy, Rudy does those when we get to look at, who we're going to be playing against. And
Yo,
then
have
there's
one
just like,
against Columbus. Good call.
yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, we'll
So
have
if
one
you
because we
want,
haven't played them yet. Because we haven't
yeah.
played
So
them
there you
yet.
go. So Rudy has work to do now. But
Yeah.
basically, I mean, it's a good thing because Rudy's going to kind of give us a rundown of, who to watch, and just kind of tactically who they are and stuff like that. So it's a really good thing if you are interested to know, how our opposing team plays, and then you just kind of keep an eye out, if you like those things like that. But like I said, Bayou City Soccer on the las redes, and at BayouCitySoccer.net on the website. So go check us out, guys.
Yeah, man. So it's been great. Yeah, thanks for following us. I would really appreciate the likes, the retweets, reading the articles, subscribing. What's up?
Buyusacoffee.com,
Yes.
and you can subscribe to kind of help us out there. If you find it in your heart, you can do a one-time donation, or you can do a monthly donation that helps get gear and kind of pay for the website and all that. So if you find it in your heart.
Yeah, and if you guys have like obviously there's a lot of content out there. Whatever you like, let us know. We've heard good stuff of when we do orange talks. So those are always coming. They come in clutch for sure for us. So as long as the team is willing to give us a little bit of time with players, man, we'll let that happen.
Shout out
And
to
then I
Edgar.
was gonna say something I'm completely blanking. Oh, if you wanna, you mentioned the buyer beer. If you want to be a sponsor, we would love. We're open to getting more sponsors in case you have a product, a company, anything that you want your name out there, and especially if you love soccer and you think you and us, you and Bayou City Soccer could be a good partnership. Yeah, reach out. We're definitely looking for that, man. But with that being said, Houston, thanks for listening to us. Yeah, what's up, Christian?
No, sorry. No, I just want to let you guys know that if you do happen to have a business and stuff like that, most of our articles, if not 100% of our articles, actually show up on FootMob.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when you Google Houston Dynamo, a lot of our stuff shows up. So, it's a good way to kind of associate, our brands together if you're out there. But
Oh,
just
for
kind of
sure,
throwing it out
man.
there. Yeah.
It's yeah, you can definitely hit us up, hit up Dustin. We'll throw it to Dustin.
Yeah.
That's why he gets paid the big
He's the
bucks.
boss, right?
We'll throw it to Dustin so he can hook you up with all the information and yeah, hopefully, get more sponsorships going because I think it's great to help, especially local. But we're not opposed to, any sponsorship opportunities. But I was trying to remember what Rodrigo says, and I really can't remember. But thanks for listening, Houston soccer fans. Don't forget to hold it down and keep it forever orange. Whew, that I
There you
did that
go.
right there.
It's a
Boom.
tough one.
Bye.
Yeah, have a good one. Bye.